Cory and Steven, your two best friends that eat a whole food plant-based diet. How's it going, friend?
It's going great, friend. How are you doing, friend?
I'm good, man. I'm good. You know what is funny is I just got back. I flew out of the last 48 hours. I flew 20 of them and traveled for 20 full of the 48 hours. I was taking my son to a summer camp in Utah.
Okay.
And I flew to Las Vegas, drove to Utah, drove back to Vegas, slept in Vegas, flew out the next morning, and yeah, it was nuts. But you know what? You know what?
Wow.
I had all my snacks with me. I had everything with me. I was fully hydrated, full of electrolytes, and I was able to stay as healthy as
preparation goes a long way, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah. And I'm glad we're talking about preparation because that's what we're all about, folks. We don't want you to get to the point where you're like, okay, you know, I got good sleep here. I'm doing this plant-based thing, but I don't know what to eat. That's why we're here. So
see, the thing is, we get the good sleep, Cory, but then the question is, what's next? We're all waking up. What are we doing next? And in most cases, I know sometimes our sleep schedules are all over the place.
Yeah.
But that's going to put us in that breakfast zone, if I'm correct.
It's true. And that's what we're talking about today, folks. We're talking about what the heck do you eat for breakfast? Now, if you look over Steven's left shoulder, you're going to see a couple different examples, a couple different things. So, holy cow, those were just there. And so
where did this come from?
Dude, that is beautiful. What do you got there?
Must have an imaginary personal chef over here. Well, we'll be diving into a whole bunch of these. And honestly, there's no right way to do it. We'll be talking simple breakfasts. We'll be talking creative breakfasts. But I just wanted to show a little sampling of just some simple things that could be done. Something as simple as right over here, a smoothie. Cory, I'm a big fan of the bananas, the berries, the leafy greens with some oats and maybe a scoop of peanut butter or nut butter of some sort. How does that sound?
It sounds amazing. And in fact, folks, we got 23 of you watching right now. Here's what I want you to do, okay? We usually ask you to tell us where you're from and things of that nature. We want you to comment and stuff. I want you to actually consider sharing this with a friend that struggles with what to eat for breakfast. I want you to hit the share button and share it with a friend and say, hey, listen, I know you've been wondering what to eat. This is it. Because you're looking at a plate here. Are you going to eat this after this, Steven?
You know what? I've been making it. I haven't been eating it. I don't want to make everyone jealous by eating on camera, but I might have to, Cory. So this is going to be a nice big breakfast. It may continue into lunch, but I wanted to make sure everyone saw everything. So if I don't eat it all, come on over and join me. Of course, you can't go wrong with your favorite fruits. Just like in my smoothies, I'm a big banana guy. I'm a big berry guy. When mango is in season, there might be nothing better than a fresh mango. What are your favorite fruits, Cory?
My favorite fruits, my go-tos are bananas. Bananas are very versatile for me. I make a crazy pancake recipe that I'm going to share with you. But ultimately, you could just head over to forksoverknives.com and just type the word pancake in the search. You'll find all of our pancake recipes. And these are whole food plant-based. Folks, you don't need oil to cook pancakes. You don't need to even put oil on the pan. Forget about it, all right? We got you covered. And the other thing that I want to say is, you know, there's like Steven said, the preparation, right? And the thought around what you're going to be making in breakfast. Sometimes good sleep and a solid breakfast starts before you go to bed. So I also want to mention some overnight oat options and some things of that nature. So we'll talk about that. But you know, Steven, you're a tactical guy, man. Like, hit us up with some thoughts on what we should be doing for breakfast.
I want to go along with that thought, Cory, because the thing is, I'll go through a couple more of these things. I think everyone here, I hope, and please say yes to pancakes in the comments if you're excited. I think that's the big thing. We want to find out, well, what can I do a bit more creatively? But let's start simple. When it comes down to it, let's start really, really simple. And oats, oatmeal, overnight oats, even whole grain cereals. Yes, there are a lot of whole grain cereals that are on the market that really focus on whole grains, no oil, and little to no added sweetener. And when you do that, that is going to fall right in the zone for these types of foods and meals that we are sharing on Forks Over Knives that you can eat for your fulfillment and your health. So when you're looking for a cereal, look for those that have whole grains, whatever type of whole grain cereal it might be. Hopefully it's one that's without oil. And if you can find one with little to no added sweetener, you have found yourself a breakfast cereal. As far as plant milks go, there is a full array. Generally, when it comes to an alternative for dairy or cow's milk, we recommend finding your favorite plant milk. And that might be soy, almond, oat, rice, flax, so on and so forth. There are a lot out there, but it goes a long way.
It does. I think for me, have you heard of this thing? Like, you want the fiber to be twice the amount of sugar. So if there's like 2 grams of sugar, you want it to be like 4 to 6 grams of fiber per serving or something. Have you heard that, or not so much?
It sounds familiar. There's so many different numbers running through my head with sodium to calories, fat, so on and so forth. But fiber is a focus. So I dig that.
So something to think about. But ultimately, watch for any added sugar, watch for oil, of course, and stuff of that nature. Okay.
Absolutely.
I see Lorraine saying yes to pancakes and Dana saying yes to pancakes as well. Well, I'm going to mention this recipe super quick, and I'm just going to put it out there. All right. So listen to how easy this is. And then I want you to go to forksoverknives.com and search pancake. All right. So 2 cups of plant-based milk. I like almond or oat. All right. If you're, watching your fat content, fat intake, even from healthy sources, stay away from oat, right? Maybe look at a different one. 2 tablespoons of baking powder. Some people are like, wait, hold up. Did you just say 2 tablespoons of baking powder? Yes. For this recipe, yes. 1 tablespoon of maple syrup, a pinch of sea salt, 1 whole banana, and 2 cups of gluten-free all-purpose flour. I say that because this is the recipe I use for my little guy. He just turned 9. He's gluten-free. He's got he's borderline celiac. So imagine that, folks, like a kid that is fully whole food, plant-based, and also gluten-free. You want to talk about not sure what to eat. Like, it's a struggle, but
he gets breakfasts, right? He eats breakfasts.
He does. So we got it covered. But like I said, again, go over to forksoverknives.com, search pancake, like you see there in the bottom over there. Thanks to our producer, Bess, for putting that up there. And then we got you covered. So,
and Amanda has you covered in the comments also as far as ingredients. Of course, you want to see it put together in the recipe. So check out what Amanda writes, then go to forksoverknives.com. When you search any of these words in the magnifying glass search bar on the website, you are going to bring up an abundance of recipes. So in addition to these recipes, and are these the blender recipes that you were talking about, Cory?
Yeah. You just slap all that in a blender, what I just said, and then you're good to go. It's pretty awesome.
You know what? Another thing is some people do share, especially with nonstick pans, this and that. I'm having trouble, cooking my pancakes without oil or everything. Check out these recipes on the website. They will show you how to cook on the pan without oil. I believe one of the tips is making sure that the pan is hot first before adding the batter on, as opposed to adding it on a little too soon. Yeah. But what about baking pancakes? Baking pancakes is another great way to do it, to avoid the pan and still to get a cohesive and hopefully maybe a little crispy pancake.
Yeah, I've never heard of that, honestly.
Really?
No. Is this in the meal planner, or where is this?
Yes, this is in Fork's meal planner. We have a great recipe called sheet pan pancakes. We double the pan because it's pan delicious. But sheet pan pancakes, we're creating the batter for the pancakes the same way. And then we are layering it in a baking sheet, perhaps even adding some blueberries on top. Dr. Barnard talked about how important blueberries are for the diet. We're baking it in the oven, and we are getting, maybe we're not getting our beautiful round pancakes, but you can cut a nice little square and it is going to taste delicious. And ultimately, I think that's what matters. I think it's super creative, and it avoids the pitfall of having pans with all the sticky stuff on it. Just bake your pancakes.
Do you think you could cut them in the shape of a heart?
I think you should absolutely cut them in a shape of a heart. I think you should cut them in whatever shapes you wish to try, and post it on the Forks Over Knives official plant-based group Facebook page. Show us your creative pancake creations. By chance.
Well, here's, as we're speaking about hearts, I'm going to transition into this. We've got a free gift for you guys. This is our newest digital download, and it is a free healthy heart guide. It is chock full of top tasting recipes to reverse heart disease. As you know, we are friends with all the top doctors around there in the plant-based world, and we have recipes that they would love. This was just given away by a major doctor conference, and we are bringing it just to you so you can have it. It's totally free. All you have to do is comment with the word heart, and we will send it right to you. Amanda's going to tell you, you just have to give us your email, not here, not in the comments. We don't want everyone to see it. We're going to give you a little page. You just put it in, it'll send right to you. No questions asked. So we got you covered.
So yeah, type in heart in the comments. Amanda will take care of you. All of these recipes that we are sharing are heart-friendly recipes. And that's what we really focus on with Forks Over Knives. For those who maybe are trying to get rid of eggs in your diet, listen, I have what I think is a lovely tofu scramble over here.
Yeah.
I mean, if you just take a look at it, you say, that looks like scrambled eggs, but it's not.
What is that, tofu and kale? Is that kale?
It's spinach. I'm a big spinach guy. I plenty of kale also, but I love some greens of some sort in there. Seasoning is your friend. What are your favorite seasonings? Garlic powder, onion powder, paprika, maybe a little umami seasoning, some fresh herbs or dried herbs even. I'm a big seasoner. Tofu will really suck it up. It is like a sponge. Make sure that you add that seasoning. And what gives it the yellow flavor? Turmeric. So do a nice little sprinkle of turmeric over the tofu. Cook it up in a pan, add those seasonings. If you want to add a little bits of veggie broth or maybe some liquid aminos every once in a while, just to make sure everything isn't sticking, that it's not too dry. Keep it nice and moist. Add your favorite leafy greens. I'm a big hot sauce guy, Cory, so you're going to see some hot sauce on this also.
I love it. Yeah, this is brilliant. And folks, the other thing is there, did you say nutritional yeast? Is there nooch on that?
There is nooch in it. I didn't mention it, but I'm glad that you reminded me.
So for those of you who don't know what nooch is, it's the super cool term that everybody that's super cool uses for nutritional yeast.
Yeah. Right? Hey, Cory, you been to the nooch lately?
Hey, I use nooch all the time.
Hey, you're a big nooch.
Oh, God. Yeah, that's what we do. So if you're not down with nooch, then you got to get down with it, because it's got a cheesy smell to it. It adds a cheesy flavor to it. A lot of the plant-based mac and cheeses out there are using nutritional yeast. So it's good stuff. It's got a lot of good B vitamins, I think, in it too. I'm not a nutritionist, but it's pretty good.
It is. I think it provides a minimal source of B12, which is something that you'll find all these experts that we talk about most often in these guides and such will recommend supplementing with B12. But to get a little extra from a healthy heaping portion of nutritional yeast on your food is nice. Potatoes. We talk about potatoes all the time.
Yeah.
You don't need oil to make roasted potatoes. I mean, look at that beautiful, beautiful color. You can get it nice and crispy if you'd like. Again.
What?
Yeah.
How did you do this?
This was just in my air fryer, Cory.
What was it mixed up in?
Oh, a little bit of salt and pepper. We did garlic powder. We did onion powder. We did smoked paprika. We also did nooch. We did some Italian seasoning. That's oregano, a little parsley, thyme, rosemary, all of that. I'm trying to think of what else. What I would do is, honestly, no oil needed. I tossed it in just a little bit of veggie broth and liquid aminos, very, very little bit. Patted it dry even after, but let the potatoes are already, very have a higher water content. But I put them in. I baked them for a while. Took them out. I put them in one more time with a little bit of veggie broth or liquid aminos. Put them back in and crisped them up, and they get that beautiful brown char. You also see, all the seasonings still stick to it without oil or butter needed.
Wow. Incredible. All right, folks. So is this helpful to you? Let us know, guys. Is this helpful, like letting you know what to eat for breakfast? We're going to get into just a couple more things, and then we're going to get out of here. As a reminder, you can see the message below, but make sure you comment with the word heart for us to send you a link to get our free Healthy Heart Guide. We'll get that to you in just a few seconds. Amanda is watching the comments for us. Thank you so much, Amanda. And we'll go from there.
And we have some great suggestions in the comments also. Thank you so much for everyone who comes. We're going to give as much as we have, but please feel free to share your own favorites. We have a lot of Cellophana citrus Italian mix, veggies of all kinds, sauces, Italian seasoning with a bit of zing. You see so many great seasoning compilations, we'll call it, that really mix a bunch of different ones. If you don't have the space or you don't want to buy all individual, you can get some great Italian seasonings. Badia gluten-free complete seasoning is great. And for those who are watching their sodium, there are some low and no salt seasoning mixes that still bring that same punch of flavor without the salt needed. So make sure that you're looking up for some of them. I know Tabitha Brown she came out with a few a while back. We still have them in the pantry. And she has at least 3 different kinds, and they are wonderful, especially when we want to not overdo it with the salt.
Yeah, incredible. Now, I saw a smoothie on that tray. Oh, what is
you did. Yeah. Oh my gosh. I got my smoothie, and then I got kind of the last bit of my kind of savory and my sweet. Honestly, some whole grain toast with mashed beans of your choice. Let's say you have a big portion of beans for lunch or for dinner, and then you have some leftover ones. Honestly, throw them in the pan, maybe add a little bit of extra seasoning or a little veggie broth, mash them up, coat your toast with it. If you're avoiding avocado, leave the avocado off. But otherwise, this is the only time that it's okay to eat with your mouth full, Cory, by the way. The only time when you need to present everyone. You have a wonderful smashed or mashed bean toast, which is a great option. What else are we putting on toast? We can put a nut butter of any kind. We can put apple butter. We can even do a sweet potato butter. Speaking of sweet potatoes, honestly, some baked sweet potato rounds. This is a Japanese sweet potato with a little drizzle of a dark cherry balsamic. You can use a balsamic of any kind. Sweet potatoes usually don't need anything else. Sweet is in the title. But for a little extra punch of flavor, I'm telling you, Cory, I could just eat for days.
Yeah. I think you're going to with the amount of food that I saw back there. This is incredible. And you know what the great thing about this is, folks, is like, if you're here, you're probably curious about a plant-based diet, but we're talking about low calorie foods. So he can eat that entire thing and still consume less calories than, a single like burger from McDonald's, right? So like you think about it, like you got this like burger from McDonald's that's like what, maybe like 600 calories. And then you've got a plethora of different foods that taste great that are also I'm going to guess here. Like, let's just say it's like 600 calories. That is going to make you not only more satiated for the entire day, but will also go light years forward in nutritional benefit to you and your body. So that's what we're talking about. You have a choice and you can choose. One of the most important things you can choose is what's at the end of your fork. And that's what we got.
Now, we just shared a whole bunch of options, from the pancakes to the scrambles to just the easy, fresh fruit and smoothies, oatmeals and cereals of all kinds, toasts, potatoes, rice and beans even. If you go to the Forks Over Knives website, which we've already shared at forksoverknives.com, if you want to really get into a meal planning flow and you want Forks Meal Planner, you will also find a lot of other different recipes. French toasts, waffles, you might think that they're off limits because you're thinking of the way that you used to make them. No worries at all. The recipes in Forks Meal Planner will give you your French toast, will give you your waffles, and you can do it without oil. You can do it healthfully and still enjoy your favorite breakfast foods. No more what's for dinner or what's for breakfast. We got your questions answered.
Our producer's loving this. She's seeing that I chose the opposite hand and I'm able to do that.
One of these days, Cory, I'm waiting for Bess to do a little kind of like Pong sort of thing where we just end up like passing a little graphic back and forth to each other. That's a challenge, but we'll see. We'll get there.
Just like Atari. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. Okay. All right. Okay, what I want to do is I want to get to our questions. We have 2 questions, I think. We're just going to throw those up on the screen and get to it. Then we're going to say goodbye. So our first question is, are there any diabetic recipes? I don't know, Stephen. How do you handle that?
You know what? I think that this is a great question. And I don't want to say it ends up being a unique sort of trick question, but here's the trick about it. These whole food, plant-based recipes that we are sharing are diabetic-friendly recipes. There's a lot of outdated and misinformation out there. And I always recommend going to the forksoverknives.com website to look through our diabetes health topics. What's great is that Heart Healthy Guide that Cory shared before is probably also going to iterate the same information. What's good for your heart is also going to be good for all of those other internal organs. So when we're talking about diabetic-friendly recipes, these are the types of foods that we're looking for. We're looking for a high carbohydrate, specifically those complex carbs from whole plant foods, and we're looking for a low fat diet, which when we are taking out the eggs, the butter, the oil, the meat, and we're focusing on, again, these whole plant foods, you are in the right ballpark. So thank you
Yeah.
for that question. Hopefully that clarifies a bit more that these foods are what you're going to be incorporating into your diet.
Perfection. What else we got? Okay. I struggle with the pancakes sticking to my frying pan every time. I never even thought of baking them. Oh, cool.
Best day to start is, well, today or tomorrow. If you've already had breakfast, tomorrow's breakfast. Perfect. Weekend baked pancake brunch.
Okay. Yummy Yarns is asking, can we use metal pancake molds to form them in the oven? They're the ones that you can use to make fun shapes. I mean, I don't know. I would see if those are, if they're oven friendly, then go for it, you know?
I would say the same thing. If they're oven friendly, go for it. Cory and I are not oven mold experts by any means, but we are fun shape experts. And as long as it is good to go, just check out, do a quick little search. But if it is okay, we say go for it.
Or cook it and then cut it. Like make it a circle and then cut it with like food scissors or something after. Okay. I was diagnosed diabetic 6 years ago. I switched to a whole food plant-based diet to help with the help of the Forks and Knives plan, and 3 months all my labs. Yeah, amazing. That's my mom too. My mom too, Nancy. Yeah. Way to go. Way to go. You know what? Hey, we should invite Nancy on the show.
Yeah, Nancy, we always love to hear stories. The Forks Over Knives website features hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of success stories, people from all over the world, all ages, all conditions, all stories. And I think the important thing is everyone can come here and listen to a couple of guys who get a whole food plant-based diet talk about things, but it's also great to connect with others outside of the specific company to know that, hey, people are changing lives. And if you have any questions about changing your life, you can always write into customer service at forksoverknives.com. We have information and resources, any guidance or suggestions that we can give you. And if we need to pass you along to someone who can give more individualized medical or nutritional advice, we have resources we can share.
Hey, Nancy, you see that email there? I want you to email them and say, Cory said to contact you. I want to invite you on the show. I want you to share your story with the rest of the world because I think it's an opportunity to show that this really works for people just like you. So please email them, say I said, mention me, Cory, Cory, and just tell them, hey, listen, this guy said I'm coming on the show. If you're down with it, it'll just be us guys. So, all right, cool.
This is going to be even more delicious, but just talking about it, this was a very delicious Forks Friday Live, Cory. It's so great to have you back.
Hey, man, I'm glad to be here. I'm glad to be here. You know, the show needs more beauty, and that's why I'm here, is to provide more beauty to the show.
That's it. That's it.
All right,
don't forget to enter heart in the comments to get your reverse heart disease guide. Cory, I'm hungry. I got to eat.
Get out of here, man. All right. We'll talk to you later. Thanks for being here, everybody. And we'll see you next time. Cheers to you.
Cheers to breakfast.